carnivores, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Bella, the steak and butter gal. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day today. I am very passionate about filming all the meals that I eat, showing you guys how I cook it, taste testing it, displaying and flashing the gorgeous meats in front of the camera. So what am I eating today? Let me just show you guys what I got from Whole Foods. I just got home from Whole Foods. Dun dun dun! I got a new item that I have never tried before. This is their beef back ribs. So I decided to get this because it was just staring back at me through the glass. This huge slab of fatty red meat. We shall see how it turns out, how I like it. So here I wanted to compare prices and show you that at Whole Foods, it is $5.99 per pound, at least where I live. At Costco, I got it for $3.99 per pound. So obviously, if you want the most budget-friendly price, get it at Costco. This here is my beloved Korean sliced short ribs. It is so good, not nearly as cheap, but in my opinion, worth the money. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at this colossal slab of meat. OMG. I can feel the bones. You can really see it. All right, I'm gonna put it on my tray and we're gonna put it in the oven. So basically, to cook these beef back ribs, preheat your oven to 280 degrees Fahrenheit, cover those ribs completely, stick it in the oven, and just cook for 3 hours straight. If you are super impatient, 2.5 hours will do, but I find 3 hours will get it to be super fall off the bone tender. In the meantime, I thought I'd do a quick unpackaging, show you guys what I got in my Carnivore Crisps box order. I also got some of their carnivore dog treats. I got a bunch of my favorite one, beef ribeyes. This is just the best. It is so fatty. It is so crunchy. Let me just show you guys and open it right now. It's just dehydrated to a point where it is literally a meat chip, okay? Look at that gorgeousness. And that fat strip. Their beef heart is my favorite of their organ selection. It just tastes like steak chips. Second all-time favorite cut, brisket. Each of the chips, there's like a really thick fat strip. So you get crunchy protein, but also chewy fat. Chicken jerky treats from the Carnivore Dog line. For both the Carnivore Dog and Carnivore Crisps, I have a discount code for you guys in case you want to order and try it for yourselves. Discount code is SBGAL, SBGAL. More brisket and ribeye. Steak and butter guy's favorite, leg of lamb. Big bag of steak and butter guy's all-time favorite, liver. He loves this cut the most. More brisket and ribeye. Carnivore Dog bacon jerky. And by the way, these dog treats are all human grade too. This is the bacon. Oh yes, good boy. Gentle. Good boy, you're so cute. Oh, Gouda's awake. Guess what came in the mail? My ButcherBox ribeyes. Look at how fatty this box is. Oh, it's so interesting how each box really varies in marbling. This box is probably the most marbled one yet. So I'm extra excited. Oh my gosh, just look at that marbling. Also, right now, ButcherBox has a promo going on. Free ground beef for life if you claim the promo. And I will link the special promo going on in the description box if you want to try out ButcherBox and get their ground beef for life. Free ground beef. Keyword free. I love their burger patties. And they have the best sugar-free uncured hot dogs, and this is pork and beef. Very clean, high quality ingredients. Whenever I get their chicken beef boxes, I will always save some chicken breast for Simba. I basically boil these up and I give it to Simba as treats. Can you sit? Good boy. I find chicken is a really good training treat, and Gouda can tolerate boiled chicken as well. Okay, baby. Why are you so cute? Look at that. Okay, it's been 3 hours. Time to take the ribs out of the oven. So as you can see, if you look closely, the liquid fat completely dripped out. Please be careful with handling the super hot pan. Let's uncover it now. That looks so good. Oh, I can just tell it is so tender. Okay, I'm just gonna let it rest, of course. So I just tried a bite. It is out of this world. You know what it tastes like? Basically, my K-barbecue short ribs, the Flanken Costco short ribs. Just for reference, this is what the Costco short ribs look like. Except it's just cut differently, so the mouthfeel is different. The meat is definitely has more substance, it has more bounce. Each bite is so juicy and so meaty. Whereas like the flank ribs, it's kind of flimsy, it's thin, it's just really nice accessory meat. This has so much substance. So here's some close-up shots of the beef back ribs. As you can see, the meat is still quite red and rare. So that's the great thing about cooking it low and slow at a super low temperature. You can even do it 4 hours at 250 degrees for an even juicier, tender meat. But that depends on how patient you are. But it is so fatty, so delicious and juicy. This is another meat where I can really tolerate the fats way more than if I were to eat straight up ribeyes. So for some reason, the fat on this type of meat is just easier for me to handle and digest. And another way you can cook these beef back ribs is to just cut it into single ribs before cooking it, and it will turn out like this. It's a lot faster to cook. If you were to cut the beef back ribs into single ribs, you can just cook it at 280 degrees for 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours if you want it extra juicy. And no, I did not season these meats. I personally do not season my meat. I also don't salt my meats, but of course you can do so if that's your preference. All right, so as you guys enjoy watching me eat the beef back ribs, I thought I'll take over now with voiceover and share with you guys my absolute top tips to stay on a budget as a carnivore. So my first tip, get ground beef. Ground beef is by far the cheapest meat, especially if you focus on higher fat ratios. They always tend to be cheaper, at least where I am from here in the States. I've seen the prices in New York City, in Seattle, in Los Angeles, and at Whole Foods, it is literally $3.99 per pound for 80/20 ground beef. If you check your local grocery stores, you might even be able to find it for even cheaper than $3.99 per pound. But $3.99 per pound for meat, for any type of meat, is a huge steal. The next thing to get, chuck steaks. Even better, if you can find them, are chuck roasts. When you get chuck roasts, you will always get a bit more of a discount just because you're getting the whole entire cut of the meat. It's a bigger quantity, so usually the butcher or the grocery store will give it to you at a lower price. This is also why I get ribeye roasts instead of pre-sliced single ribeyes, because the entire roast will always be cheaper by the pound versus pre-sliced single servings of the same cut of meat. So chuck roasts are going to be super cheap. I have seen chuck roasts at Costco for $5 per pound, and that is definitely a great price, especially for the amount of fat and marbling you get in chuck steaks. I like to eat it in cubes. I will cut it in bite-sized pieces and air fry it, or I'll just sear it over the stove. The next thing to definitely take advantage of, eggs. Probably the cheapest carnivore food. When I was in New York City, I would be going through a dozen eggs a day at least. I would always stick to Nellie's, which is very cheap. I think $3.99 per pound. Or I would go with the Vital Farms eggs, which is probably $5.99. All of these options I list, by the way, I will link down below so you can find the brand and the price. Now let's talk about animal fats. Butter and suet are my go-tos. Animal fats are not only delicious and nutrient dense, but they're also quite cheap. So butter sticks were my go-to snacks when I first went carnivore. My favorite brands, Kerrygold and Organic Valley Cultured Butter. I will link those down below as well. It's also a great way to save money. You can add fats to any meal that you cook up, and it won't take a lot of fat to fill you up. The other option is raw suet, and this is a great steal if you can get it from your local butcher shops. So check out your local butcher shops near you. Call ahead and ask if they are able to save raw beef fat trimmings for you. A lot of butcher shops will save it for you at an insanely cheap price. I have been able to get raw beef fat trimmings for free because a lot of butcher shops just throw them away. If they do charge for it, it's usually no more than $3 per pound. A great way to cook it is to just air fry it. If you air fry it salted, it just becomes the most delicious, crispy, fat snacks. So definitely try those out. And of course, as featured in today's video, $3.99 a pound for beef back ribs, finger-licking good meat is definitely another great option. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications to not miss my future videos. I'll see you guys in my next video or on Instagram at Steak and Butter Gal. SBG out.